So I've been thinking about the Taliban lately. No, I'm not a Taliban apologist, neither am I a terrorist, so let's get that out of the way. But a fundamental core aspect of being a terrorist is being radicalized, being brainwashed. And one of the key shocking moments that I came across while I was reading about Afghanistan, terrorism, and just the war on terror is that these are people who are so brainwashed that they're able to keep their ideology, they're able to keep their mission above basic human needs. Like, think about it for a second. These guys are broke, poor, living in the mountains, sleeping outside in tents, no food, hanging out with goats, and they don't care about all that. They care about their religion and their mission. And so that got me thinking, like, think about that for a second. How brainwashed do you need to be to get to that level? And can we replicate that into something positive? Can we replicate that into a goal that is more beneficial for the world instead of just terrorizing everybody? Like, a simple idea is so strong to them, their religion, a simple idea is so, they believe in it so much that they're able to forgo basic human needs. Food, water, healthcare, like, they don't care about these things, man. Their focus is their religion and mission. So why don't we apply that to our own goals and missions? Let's think about that for a second. Why don't we brainwash ourselves, radicalize ourselves into believing that our mission, our goal is above basic human needs? I'll give you an example from my life. I used to be heavily addicted to League of Legends. It's an online game. And I used to be so addicted that I used to forget to shower. And I know this is like the basic average gamer meme stereotype, that they don't shower, they don't eat. But we can learn from that this phenomena of not showering, not eating, letting go of basic human needs to focus on one thing, this obsession with one thing is so powerful. If we can just direct it to something more beneficial for the world or beneficial for ourselves and our families, how much can we accomplish? Think about that for a second. So I used to not shower, forget eating, forget drinking, thirsty. I used to get thirsty and then I just go back to the game. Like, I used to forget drinking water because I was so heavily addicted to the game. And one of the key principles or the key goals that I keep in mind is that we can actually simulate addiction. So here's a big idea that I want to put forward to everybody who comes across this video. I hope it helps you because I want to help people. I want to help people like me who are on a mission and they're lost and they don't know what to do. Like, everybody's telling us, focus on your goals, focus on your mission, the grind set, the hustle. But like, what do I hustle for? I don't have any passions. I don't have any hobbies. I mean, I do have hobbies, but like, I don't believe in something more than myself. And I want to inspire that in other people, just as I've inspired it in myself. So this idea of simulating a drug addiction, all right? Think about it for a second. Or not just a drug addiction, any addiction. What happens is the brain is so obsessed over this one thing, everything else does not matter. Think about how much time we can leap forward by just obsessing over one thing, how much we can accomplish, how much we can gain from this. Think about that for a second. Just putting every single waking hour into something. For me, I'll give you an example. For me, what I'm trying to do, like with this idea, what I'm trying to do is coding, all right? I'm trying to become a self-taught developer because I don't know if this YouTube thing is gonna go anywhere, but I'm trying to become a self-taught developer and I'm trying to obsess over coding. And there's one key thing that's missing. It's dopamine. Okay, so you take any drug, its basic function is releasing dopamine. You play any game, its basic function is releasing dopamine. But when you start doing these mundane tasks like learning how to write lines of code, learning syntaxes, these things are not releasing dopamine. So it becomes really hard to get addicted to something like this where there's no dopamine. So dopamine is the biggest key factor in addiction. If we can get past the first initial stages where dopamine is absent and get to the point where dopamine is now releasing, we can achieve anything. You guys can achieve anything. I can achieve. We all can achieve anything. It's just getting over that one hurdle. So obsession. Think about it. Obsession, addiction is the same thing, all right? I used to be obsessed with the game League of Legends because it was providing me dopamine. I wanted to climb higher into the ranks. I wanted to try a new champion. This all was flowing with me with dopamine. But when I'm trying to code, I have no dopamine. Fuck, man. Like, I'm trying to search for projects to build because I have no interest in coding. Like, I don't really want to build any websites or apps. Like, if I try to think on top of my head, what do I want to build? I really don't have any, like, ideas, but I'm still trying to instill dopamine release into this obsession. For example, I'm starting to learn HTML and CSS, and like they're guiding me through building these websites, these basic websites. So I'm trying to see if I can get dopamine out of creating something like that. You know, when you create something, for example, I create music, I make music. Check it out if you like music, but you obviously like music. I create music, and when I make good music, or the music that I think is good, it makes me happy, and dopamine is released, and it pushes me forward to make more music. But that's the thing. Dopamine is key, and if we can reach a point where our creative processes releases dopamine, we can get so hooked to something useful for us, like coding, working out, or anything in life that is useful for our goals, for our mission, then we will basically conquer the entire earth. You will be putting in 24. I did not sleep when I was playing League of Legends. I used to sleep for 2 hours, wait till my mom went to work, because my mom knew I was addicted to this game, so she used to hide all my stuff, hide all my laptops. So I used to wake, after 2 hours of sleep, I used to wake up, search the entire house for the laptop and the charger, and play without sleep because I was so heavily addicted. What if we can translate that into something more useful? Just think about that. 24-hour grind. And you're not doing it because you're forced to, you're doing it because you're addicted to it. You're obsessed with this. So I'm trying to explore this idea a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? This radicalization, this brainwashing process where you like basically let go of every distraction you have, and you're so focused on one thing, so obsessed over one thing. I don't know if it'll work. I'm exploring this idea, but I just want to put this idea forward to other people who are in the same boat as me, other people who come across these videos of mine. I want to teach them this principle, because think about future society if we were all like this. We would be like a type 6 civilization. We'd be so far ahead because everybody is so obsessed with their goals, their mission, not drugs, not gaming, but they cultivated a strong mental attitude to get obsessed with things that are useful, not gaming, not drugs. We're trying to simulate that stuff. We're trying to simulate the addiction from these simple stuff that are not useful to us into more complex, more useful things. And one of the key things that the key roadblocks that I'm coming across, this radicalization of myself, is that I'm not getting any dopamine from coding, man. I'm writing these lines of code, but I'm not getting any dopamine. Okay, I see a website, like a shitty ass website I built, but I'm not getting dopamine. So if you can ponder upon this idea, maybe leave a comment. Maybe if you have any ideas how to, get the ball rolling. We just need to get the ball rolling, man. If the ball starts rolling, it's a fucking avalanche. Think about it, man. Think about how we can cultivate dopamine from mundane things, because that will fucking lead us to fucking Valhalla, bro. Fuck. It's a great concept. I deeply urge you to explore this radicalization, this brainwashing of the mind, where you're just obsessed with one idea. And I learned this, or I started thinking about this when I was reading into Afghanistan, when the US left Afghanistan, and I got into that subject and I was reading about it. I got obsessed with that subject. You see, that's how it starts. The ball starts rolling because you start with one hit, 2 hit, and you're obsessed. So I was reading into that, and I was like, fuck man, these guys are foregoing basic human needs to just push their ideology. Like what if we can simulate that? And this is one last key thing I want to put forward. If you made it this far into the video, I want to really put this idea forward that I took a lot of time to think. You know, suicide bombers. Let's go back to the terrorists. Suicide bombers. I saw a video where they were picking which guy was gonna bomb some place. Like they were picking a suicide bomber. They were picking it with straws or sticks. Whoever gets the shortest sticks wins. And this guy won. And they were filming it, and he was so happy. Just think about that. That guy was so happy that he's gonna die. The most basic fear, death. He was so happy that he overcame. He wasn't happy. His obsession with the religion, with the ideology, he was able to overcome the most basic assembly binary level fear. Every organism, from bacteria, virus, to the biggest of the biggest whales, every organism is hard-coded inside our head to survive, to fear death. And this guy was happy he was gonna die because he believed in his religion so much. Just think about that for a second, man. If we can instill that belief into achieving something, if we can just simulate a fraction of what they're simulating. Think about that for a second, man. We would be gods. We'd be just walking the earth like gods, man, because we're so fucking advanced. Like, fuck, man. So I implore you, I want your help into expanding this idea further of radicalizing oneself into believing in something that is useful for humanity and ourselves, and how to get the ball rolling, because that's where I'm having a roadblock. You know, like the beginning stages is so difficult because there's no dopamine, there's no reward, and you're just forced to work until you get to a point where there is reward. So I ask for your help. Just leave a comment down. What do you think? And yeah, until next time.